Greetings, I am Lotus, and I'm going to be making guides on Elin to help new and returning players not get overwhelmed by the amount of information this game has to offer. I appreciate a like on the video if anything I mentioned today was helpful. Today's video will go over an import config, the storage menu, widgets, gear loadouts, and the card codex system. To begin, the most important config to turn on is the auto pickup system, which you can get, sorry for that, right here under the games tab and select auto pickup harvest stuff. This allows you to collect the items that drop from map objects like trees, rocks, and walls. Do keep in mind that items like the gold bar, mana, sun, and earth crystals do not get auto collected, as I classify them as special drops, since the walls that you do harvest like dirt and copper walls do not have them as a standard loot. Items you get from the butcher's knife on creatures do not get auto collected as well. Next is the storage menu and how to manipulate it. To go to any container, you go to the config and it opens up a variety of menus to customize each container. You can customize them by how they're organized, what particular items are going in, and how the priority in which the items go in first compared to other containers. You can manipulate this distribution settings by simply turning off any of these or being particular about which container is going to take in which. And you can do this with the simple settings or the advanced distribution, because let's be real, there's somebody in the game who wants to pick up only polearm weapons. We can go into the word filter system later, but the auto pickup is where this is special on the baseline storage system you get at the beginning of the game, since the auto pickup caters to you picking up any item at all. So if you were to have, say, turning off the food option, you would not pick up any item that are classified under the food category. You can also change that with the advanced distribution settings as well, or even the word filter. Word filter allows you to specify what particular items you wish to include or not include in your container and picking up. And since we're doing it from the auto pickup option, putting this like here will prevent me from picking up hearts and always be picking up pasture. To use the word filter correctly, you must have the plus or minus sign before the item or category, followed by a comma with no space. By clicking enter, it will now be set as this, and you can change it later as you will. Configs here allows you to select the don't use the items for crafting, which means it just prevents these items that are in this container from being used in the crafting process. And you have one below it, which allows it from being excluded from auto dumping, which I'll get to in a little bit. And you can also fix the window position so that you cannot move it around in the event that you somehow hit it. And if you like any of these settings to be put into other containers, simply click the copy container setting, and when you go into a config on any other container, such as this one, it will show up now below here, paste container settings. The auto dump feature is very important, as this is most important on your main base where you keep everything you have. And if you were to click this button, it will now automatically go to a container that is placed on the field that has similar items to what is present here. Similar or the exact items depending on how the container is set up. This is good to prevent you from having to go to each container and searching for everything to figure out what you want to put these things at. Next is the widget system, which allows you to customize the menu of your playthrough, and you can do this by going to the widgets and going right here. The ones that are checked are active, and the ones that don't have a check mark are inactive, but you can simply just turn them on or off depending on whether or not they are locked or not. You can unlock it here, and then, well, it's not actually, no, all these are system. Sorry, forgive me. The system ones you cannot change the lock or active, but you can do it for everything else, which is allow you to get information on not only your character but other members of your party, and even information on the land that you're currently on. You can change how these particular informations are presented by clicking the R key and going over into settings. For instance, on the date and time widget, I have only just to show me the room and the location, but I can turn on the weather, the clock, the real-time date, and the period of day. But I'm going to go back to my normal distribution like that, and you can do this with any of the widgets here, but the most important one is the party info, as it allows you to access your party members' inventory from anywhere on the map. As you can see, These members of my party are right here. There was one right here, the Blade Omega, and since he's so far away, I cannot access his menu through opening up the trade menu from this particular item here. But if I were to click his icon down here, I can do that, and I can place items in here that I collected on the journey, such as harvestable materials that I want to save for crafting, or giving them gear so that they can fight alongside me better. And to follow up on the widgets, we can go over the gear loadout system, which is very simple. First thing first, you need to have a set of gear that you want to have in a gear set. For instance, this gear set right here is my combat gear, so I want to make sure this is going to be combat gear no matter what when I click the gear set. Next though, you go to over here. This is considered, let me go make sure it's right. This is considered the extra one. Where is that? Extra one right here on hotbars, extra one widget. And it allows me to click this empty slot right down here. You can't really see it because it's hard, but there's an empty slot. And go to save cart equipment set, and now this set is saved for forever until you remove it. So now I'm gonna go take off this equipment. It's clearly in my inventory. Instead of clicking on each individual item, I simply click this and it automatically equips. You can do this with any gear set you have in the game, such as I have one for music, weightlifting, pickpocketing, and traveling, but the restriction is you must carry these equipments on your character at all times to do this on the fly, anywhere on the map. You can, however, simply just place these containers down and leave it there and not have to worry about it, but do keep in mind that if these containers are under the shared option, your allies or your residents in your base will pick these up and use them as they are now under a shared container. So do keep in mind to keep these containers closed for the foreseeable future. And if you don't have the corresponding weightlifting skill to carry this much gear, simply just grab the box, click on the equipments that you wish to put on, and then place the box back on the floor, and you are safe. This does not take a turn action, so if you're under the squashed effect, you will not be taking damage, provided that you are not lucky to, when you pick up the box, get squashed by it immediately. And lastly is the card Codex system, which is very simple. You go to your journal, which is down here, or by clicking J, and you go to the card Codex option right down here. Next, you turn on the auto collect cards option, as this is very helpful when you get to the longer you play on each character. Simply put, getting more cards increases the drop rate chance of items from killing monsters. And since boss monsters are always going to drop one item, the greater chance of you dropping more is good, since they're going to be of the same or better rarity when you defeat a monster, and that can help you boost your character into later games when you have to get better equipment. This is all for the guide video. I do hope you like and subscribe. I do stream the game, so I appreciate it if you come by and chat. If I was mistaken on anything I mentioned today, do comment on the video and correct my mistake, please. Thank you for watching and have a great day.